So A Bad Mum's Christmas. If you remember, in the case of the original Bad Mums, story was there were three mums who were considered to be sort of schoolgate failures because they weren't sort of doing all the things that super mums were meant to do. They decided to take back their own lives, do things on their own terms, which basically involved drinking too much and behaving outrageously and fighting back against the super mum conspiracy. And in the case of that movie, I rather enjoyed it. I was very, very surprised how much I enjoyed it. This time, it's the Bad Mum's Bad Mums. So basically, it's in the run-up to Christmas. I think this is the first of the specifically Christmas-themed films, although actually I think we can take Murder in the Orient Express as a Christmas-themed film, because of the snow. So basically, there's Christmas is coming. It's bad enough already due to the tyranny of festive fun, which leaves mums running around, having to buy all the presents, do all the cooking, entertain the children, organising the family. Why? And then suddenly, the bad mums turn up. So Catherine Hahn's bad mum is Susan Sarandon, who's a former roadie for a rock group who turns up in an articulated lorry, smokes, drinks, and apparently only ever turns up when she needs money. Her name is ISIS, and she says, yes, like the terrorist organisation. Kristen Bell's bad mum is Cherry Hines, who basically wants to be with and indeed be her daughter, wears T-shirts with her daughter's face on, gets her hair cut like her daughter's, and just wants to be around her daughter all the time, exactly that face that you just pulled.
Yeah, weird.
And then Mila Kunis's bad mum, which is Kristen Baranski, who is this domineering matriarch who appears to have untrammeled access to wealth, thinks nothing her daughter does is good enough, takes over the house, the daughter's house, which she transforms into a grotto of ghastliness. Here's a clip.
What in God's name is that?
That is our new Christmas tree. I got it at Lady Foot Locker. Do you like it?
No, I don't, Amy. I find it revolting. What is this thing doing in your house?
I don't know. I didn't want to waste time tree shopping this year. I actually wanted to enjoy Christmas.
Amy, you are a mom. Moms don't enjoy, they give joy. That's how being a mom works. And this hideous tree does not give joy to anybody.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who are you? And why are you talking?
Mom, please be nice. This is Jesse. You met him.
I'm tired of this conversation, but if you think for 1 second I'm going to let your lazy shenanigans ruin Christmas for this entire family, you are very much mistaken. Good night, dear children. Here, have some iTunes gift cards.
Mom, seriously?
gosh.
You have to stop giving them gifts.
Thanks, Grandma.
Honey, did you see these ornaments? They are all little shoes.
I swear to God, Hank, I will drive you to a fire station and I will leave you there.
So in the case of the first Bad Mums, wasn't press screened, had a terrible trailer, went along to see it at Southampton and paying preview with the good lady Professor Her indoors, had a pizza beforehand, and was really surprised by how much we both enjoyed it, not least because of the fact that it's got the funniest, not even joke, the funniest story about being taken to see Cruising with Al Pacino. Because, well, Al Pacino at the very, very end.
Well, so you were in a good frame of mind.
It was a good
pizza.
Exactly. Well, yes, exactly. So everything was, I was with the person I love, and we'd had pizza, and we'd had beer, and and that was great. Well, I'd had beer, she hadn't. So anyway, and so now along comes A Bad Mum's Christmas. Again, not a press show. Like the first one, I had a terrible trailer. Like the first one, I went to see it in Southampton, although I have to say on my own. Good lady Professor Her indoors wasn't able to come, didn't do the pizza, didn't have the beer in advance, hoping for the best, and was not that surprised to discover that it was nothing like as good as the first one. So there are a number of reasons why it's not as good. The first one had a kind of really joyous simplicity. It was basically carried along on the strength of its girls behaving badly set up, which is, we were all expected to do all these things. We're not going to do them anymore. We're going to take back our own lives, and we're going to swear a lot while we're doing it. And I have to confess that I did find it funny. This is far more laboured because everyone will recognise the stuff about the parental horror of Christmas, particularly, our three anti-heroines, who, all have this responsibility, things that they have to do. But the stuff about them having to deal with their mums is far more contrived, feels far more like hard work. You felt that the plot was having to do a lot more, heavy lifting in order to get everyone into the right place so that the jokes could happen. In the first one, there's a shared goal. In the second one, it's a series of different goals. I mean, yes, they're all dealing fundamentally with the same issue. And so I think from a structural point of view, it just doesn't have anything like the simplicity of the first one. It also has a much lower laugh rate than the first one does. That said, I'd be lying if I said I didn't laugh at all, because I did, and I counted, and I laughed 7 times.
There you go, it passed.
And as we know, it therefore passed the 6 laughs test. I laughed at disjointed set pieces. I laughed at single slapstick moments. I laughed at the unexpected punchline to a visit to a couples counsellor, which suddenly has this incredibly vitriolic speech, which I didn't expect to be coming at all. And that did make me laugh. And the audience that I was there with, it was kind of, maybe a third full. It was a 6:15 performance in Southampton. They all chuckled along enough. So, it's not terrible. And certainly in terms of the absolutely awful movies that you often get at Christmas, particularly the American, let's get everybody together, let's do that awful New Year's Day one, that hideous thing. I mean, it's what's the other one called? I keep wanting to say Leapy Year, but that's a New Year. Yeah, that's right. But
we know the films you're talking about.
It wasn't like them. It was nothing like as funny as the first one. And I did say that because I was speaking to Nigel Floyd about this because he was going to go and see Bad Moms Christmas, and he said, "What's the first one like?" I said, "You really need to see it, and it's got the funniest cruising joke you'll ever see in a movie." And he went to see it, and he came back and he said, "Yeah, you're right. That is the funniest cruising joke I've ever seen in a movie, and it's not even a joke. It's just a story about being taken to see cruising."
Sorry, you suddenly became incomprehensible there.
I'm sorry.
It's a story about what?
Being taken to see cruising.
Right.
By your mum.
Yes.
He says, "Why would you take me?" He said, "Well, Al Pacino." Anyway, never mind. There's nothing even vaguely
Were there
like
hallucinogenic properties in this pizza of yours?
No. I mean, obviously, as I said, in terms of the first
just
one,
sounds slightly deranged.
In terms of the first one, so if you were going to take this into a court and you were going to say what was the difference between your experience of the first one and the second one, the first one, I was there with pizza, a beer, and the good lady Professor Her indoors. In the second one, I was there. You just slipped off the desk. I was there.
I didn't fall asleep.
You did slightly. You did slightly do that. On the second one, I was there on my own, and I laughed a lot less, although I think that the problems with the films were down to more than the absence of the professor, the beer, and the pizza.